Hello, welcome to Jamestown Sawmill here in Jamestown, South Carolina, the heart of the Low Country. You are looking at a back-leaning tree that was topped by one of the tornado that came through in April. And it topped down. You can see a few topped-out trees there. But we are doing a double thing today. We're doing a control drop on this tree that is leaning back towards the neighbor's driveway. So we're also doing a control drop, and B is in Big Blondie. B, how did that feel?
I was very enthusiastic and participated in this. I was very motivated. I wanted to actually take this on, and I was quite enthusiastic.
Yes, sir, folks. She was a gung-ho individual. Now, I'll throw a few things out, and hindsight is always beyond 2020. Now, one of the key things, and you'll see it more, and we will touch on it more during the course of this video, but there are two key things that I really want to touch on. One is actually a double hitter. It is lines of visual and passive communication. Okay? What is your plan? Are you working your plan? Do you even have a plan? Well, here's the reality. No, we didn't have a plan. There would be.
No, we did not.
Now, here's the reality. When you get hot, you get stupid. When you get hot, you get tired. And when you get tired, you want to get things done. And that's when you can really mess up a lot of things. So, by the time I got done doing the rig up and time doing everything else out here, guys, basically it's at least 100 degrees out there with 100% humidity. I mean, it was pretty steamy that day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And we started in the morning, and he also had different rigging options that he was considering simply because the bark on the tree was slipping. So initially we had it up, then we brought it down, and then we brought it back up, and we finally decided to let it remain where it is now.
Exactly. So pretty much I was, I'm not going to say I was feeling whooped, but I tell you what, the proverbial monkey was climbing up on my back. Now, what we did not do is discuss the operation before we did it. Basically, we got her up in the crawler, and basically it's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Follow my cue. Things of this nature. Well, that's all noble, guys, but if your significant other doesn't know what your cue is, then that could be potentially hazardous, and then the other thing I'm going to point out is, well, you couldn't see me too well, could you, hon?
No, I could not. You just blended in with the environment completely.
Yeah, even though I was dressed in blue with olive drab, you notice all that green that swallowed me up right there. So basically, this is where, high visualization aids come in. Maybe I should have had on a safety orange or one of those super yellow t-shirts there where you can at least see me. And probably using signal flags as well.
That may have been more helpful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And since we have gotten a couple signal flags that we will be using for operations. And again, what is your plan? Are you working your plan? Is there a deviation to your plan? What is the safest thing? What are you doing? Things of that nature. Anybody that works construction, you do this all the time on a job. It's a safety briefing. So your big buddy Jay didn't have a safety briefing with his beloved B. Instead, it's like, get her done. Isn't that right, bud?
Yes, that is exactly was your demeanor. Let's get this done. It's getting warm.
I'm hot. I'm tired. I'm pissed.
Hot. I'm getting a little cranky. Let's get this done. And that was my briefing, if you want to talk about a safety briefing. So at this point, Jay has gone to the back to talk to me. I'm waiting on the dresser for direction of what we are going to be doing and whether we're ready to start trying to get this tree down. So that's what you're seeing here. He's telling me that we need to now start to put tension on the cable, and you'll see slowly the cable is moving, and there's a little bit of pull that's going on at this point.
Yeah, you can see her back in the rig up a little bit, gang, and you're gonna see some good tension pop up on that. Now, one of the things that caught my attention about this tree was the bark slipping on it. You can see B there in the dresser, and she's getting a feel for the controls. And guys, it's like anything. If it's a tractor, if it's a piece of machinery, I don't care what it is. The only way to learn it is to get up there and do it. Okay? So move your truck, lock up the dog, and turn her loose, and just, that's the way it's done. And that's the best thing I could suggest. The only way to learn it is to do it. And I encourage everybody to learn it. So one of the things, like I said, was catching my attention was the bark was slipping on this pine tree. And, generally on a pine tree, the bark is pretty well adhered all the way around. So, the fact that you had a topped out tree and probably lines of fracture going through the tree, you're going to notice my attentiveness when it comes time for me to take a chainsaw to it. So we throw some tension. You can see her pull the tree slightly forward. We definitely have some force on that tree. Initially, I thought we could probably try to just pull it straight over, because you can see it's on a little bit of a knoll right there, a little bit of a hill, and or a mound. And I was like, well, we could probably try it. And that's when we really found out how much that bark was slipping. And I was like, well, you got that big taproot on a pine tree. That's not going to happen too well. So that's when I was like, yep, we're going to have to cut it.
And that's what he was doing in the background. He was actually getting the chainsaw, because at that point he determined that we're not going to just pull this down with the dresser. Yeah. We'll have to actually use a chainsaw in addition to using the dresser.
So we break out the big 661, as you'll see me coming in the frame here shortly, guys. And, I'll put a brand new chain, 25-inch bar on it. And you can see where the bark slipped off the bottom where we were initially trying to grab it. And you'll see me fisk the bark off of it as well. And one of the things you're going to notice about me being attentive on this is I was actually concerned that there might be a fracture point on this tree. And literally, the tree can explode on you. And the fact that I do have force on that tree now for a guided drop, I've just multiplied the forces. So you can see me ripping into this thing pretty good. Basically, I'm doing a face cut on this thing, and I'm not going to say it in a haphazard way, but I just want to get a little bit of a directional cut on this thing and get deep enough into this tree where I don't bind up the bar, and I get positive drop in the direction I wanted to go. B, could you really see me too well right there?
Not really. I could not really see you, and being that you're squatting too, that made it even worse. You just disappeared.
Yeah.
With all that greenery around you.
And you got a lot of hood on that crawler sticking out there in front of you, causing a blind spot.
Yes.
So you can see, guys, I just threw an initial face cut right there. I get in right there. Want to throw some little more tension for a direction to drop. Ease it back just a shade. I'll stop. And when I make my cut, I don't cut all the way through, because I want to have control of that tree. So you can see, ease back, give me some guide. And again, if we would have discussed this ahead of time, it's like, okay, this is what I need to happen, how I need it to happen. And again, I am totally blending into the background right there, and she is having a bear of a time to see me.
And also, I was concerned because you're right next to that tree that's fallen. So yeah. I wanted you out of the area as I pull.
Again, and this is where if we would have had a nice little briefing ahead of time, we cut. I start waving the flag, and you can see me there trying to say, hey, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling.
You did bring up a very good point, because you had mentioned before that if you actually keep it in momentum,
Yes.
it would have been a more smoother, safer drop.
Well, that's the idea. And again, that goes back to the operations briefing that I was telling you that, hey, call me ignorant and stupid. I knew better. I did not do it. I just said, get on up there. Let's make it happen, mama. You know? And I pretty much just said that. Okay, this was the job. It was like, no, this is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to be executed. Once we get to this point, this is how it's going to go. And right there, you see me pretty little walk away, like, I got to get away from this because, you know, but it goes back to lines of communication, guys. You know, you see that bark being fisked off by the rigging, too. So, you can see I left a hinge point for the tree. I didn't cut clean through because I wanted her to have control over that tree. I did not want to even risk it going on the neighbor's property, potentially touching his power line, the whole gambit. So, again, if I would have used signal flags, if I would have been lit up like the 4th of July.
The only reason why I knew what you were trying to communicate to me is because you were yelling.
Yeah.
Other than that, I didn't see any of your hand gestures. I didn't see anything.
I've been told I got a set of lungs on it. So, you know, again, we would have had a little bit of an operations briefing, drink some water, 10 minutes, you can see the hinge point there on the tree and everything, gang. But there it is, pretty well in a nutshell. You know, you can see it, and you can see the fracture line right there in that tree.
Yes.
And that's what I was concerned about, is pretty much it's like I cut into that thing, and you've heard me talking plenty of videos, gang, about trees exploding on you. Any tree can do it. So, pretty much in a nutshell, guys, you know, this is what we had. This is what we did. It was a good introduction to B. B, are you ready to jump into another one?
Absolutely.
Hey, that's my girl. But this time, I promise you, we will definitely have a little talk ahead of time.
Okay.
I'll be lit up like the 4th of July, so you can see me. We got signal flags now. And that way, guys, it'll go a little bit smoother, but really, hindsight being 2020, for an introductory drop, I must say, hey, it went pretty smooth. Lord knows it could have been worse. But gang, for everyone here at Jamestown Sawmill, Jamestown, South Carolina, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you on the next one.
You guys take care and work safe out there.